Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a Ford Bronco Raptor finished in the new shelter green color. Now this particular video is going to be a 2-for-1 deal. I'm going to show you guys the spec on this particular Bronco Raptor, and then I'm going to give you guys an update on my ownership experience with my Bronco Raptor so far. I actually drove it here today so that I can do all of that. Before we get into the video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford here in Provo for giving me some time with this Bronco Raptor. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Johnny. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So quickly, if you aren't familiar with the Bronco Raptor, it's powered by a twin-turbo 3-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. It puts out 418 horsepower and then 442 pound-feet of torque. And so far in my Bronco Raptor, I average between 15 to 16 miles per gallon, depending on if I'm driving up in the mountains or, mostly around in the valley. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So the focus on this part of the video is going to be on the new color here, shelter green, and it actually is really cool. So this isn't necessarily the best lighting, but from a distance, it'll kind of look like a brown in a way, but once you get closer, you can also see the green. It's like a mossy green. I think that would be a good way to describe the coloration on it. It almost looks bronze too in certain lighting. It's a very dynamic color, and with this one has the body painted fender flares, so you can kind of see the green there with how the lighting hits it differently. And then same thing here on the venting as well. That kind of also helps out showing the paint color. It looks like it has quite a bit of metallic flake. It'd be interesting to see this in the sunlight. This particular one has the regular wheels, so the blacked out wheels, not beadlock capable or anything like that. And if you don't know other specs of the Bronco Raptor, it's got 13 inches of travel front and rear from the factory. Fox shocks, which it's the live valve, they're pretty crazy. This thing, you can jump it from the factory, bunch of really cool stuff. But again, this part of the video, just wanted to kind of focus on the color. Let me know you guys think about the shelter green. Seeing this in person, I actually think it looks really cool. I'm excited to see this on the new Ranger Raptor and then the new F-150 as well, because, same paint color on different vehicles with different body lines. It always kind of changes things up a bit, but it looks really sharp here on the Bronco Raptor. And then inside, this is where things get interesting. So this actually has the blue interior, as you can see. So you've got like the orange accenting with the blue there. And then this one also has the carbon fiber package, and then you see the blue on the orange on the dash. It's just a very interesting transition from the green on the outside to the blue on the inside. And then these steps actually do help out with getting in. They are a little bit annoying when you get out though. And then we'll quickly start her up. Pretty cool with the digital gauge cluster. This one thing is really cool about the Bronco Raptors. It has the full digital gauge cluster that regular Broncos don't get. And if you don't know, Bronco Raptor has stabilizer, bar disconnect, front and rear lockers. It's got trail turn assist. It's got a big infotainment system, dual zone climate heated seats, all the luxury features. But yeah, this interior with this, it's pretty interesting. You can see the orange there as well. And then, Bronco Raptor comes fully loaded, so like top insulation, all that. Anyways, let's take a quick look at the window sticker before we go and talk about my Bronco. You can see over there, finished in azure gray. But yeah, here you go, shelter green, 2024. And looks like just added the upgraded seats and then the carbon fiber pack. So yeah, with all of that, there's your total MSRP in this particular one, $96,650. And with that being said, normally we drive this one, but we're going to be driving mine, and we're going to talk about Bronco Raptor ownership so far. Let us set off in my Bronco Raptor. Talk about the ownership experience so far. So I figured I would do a 2-for-1 deal because I'm not at high enough miles to make like a dedicated video to, hey, what's up living with Bronco Raptor yet. Only at like 2,600 miles, which is basically brand new. But I have driven it, over those 2,600 miles in quite a few different conditions. Sadly, still haven't had time to take it off-road. I do plan on doing that in the near future. There's a place called Fish Springs that's out in the middle of the desert here in Utah. And it's gonna make a family trip out of that pretty soon. And so that'll be a good test of the Bronco Raptor in its natural environment in the desert, high speed. There might be not to get to this fish springs, maybe around it there might be some crawling to get some good views of the area while we're out there. But let's talk about this. So first off, fuel economy. So far you can see 15.2 miles per gallon. Sometimes I've gotten about 16. That's one of the things that, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you got 37s, it's not going to get great fuel economy, but it's also disappointing that it's not better than my V8 Wrangler. So I've got a Wrangler 392 now. That's on 35, so it's a little bit of a smaller tire. I'll see what my Wrangler fuel economy goes to when I put 37s on it. I will be doing that sometime in the future when I get some time. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's disappointing to me where it's like I got two off-road body on frame SUVs that are both blocks of cheese, and they both have big tires, and the V8 gets better fuel economy. You know, I usually get 16, 17 on the Wrangler, whereas this I'm getting 15. So that's one of the things. It's like, I mean, this engine's fine, but it's like, if I could, like, with the knowledge that I could have a V8 in this and get the same fuel economy and maybe even better, like, come on. I don't know. I mean, I'd be okay with Ford to put the 5.0 in this. I'd be more than happy with the, even though the 5.0 has less power, less torque than this, I'd be more than happy with the 5.0. Aside from the fuel economy, the acceleration with this is pretty good. It's slower than an F-150 Raptor, and it is definitely slower than a Wrangler 392, but it's not like slow, but it's not quick, is what I would say. It's enough power for what this vehicle is trying to do, be a crazy off-roader that can also, you know, crazy high-speed off-roader that can also rock crawl. But yeah, sometimes it you know, leaves a little bit to be desired from an acceleration perspective. The seats are actually really comfortable. So I have the more bucket, they're like the upgraded leather seats that are more bucket-like, and they're pretty dang comfortable. What I will say is, I kind of wish I got the base model vinyl seats now. Now, they aren't power adjustable, and I know some people that's a deal breaker. For me, that's not really a deal breaker. Those seats are actually more comfortable, and now the, you know, thought of having to clean these is kind of coming to my mind. They're not dirty right now, but I'm like, man, these seats with this mesh net and everything will be way more difficult to clean than the, you know, vinyl seats with it. And then in terms of ride quality, it's a Raptor. It's not as comfortable as the F-150 Raptor, but it's still really comfortable for what it is. More comfortable than a Wrangler, less wind noise than a Wrangler. Like, this top insulation helps out quite a bit. So fun. But you still get quite a bit of wind noise. It is still a box, so you get quite a bit of swirling and all that fun stuff. And I wonder, I mean, I've got the regular, the stock antenna. I'll probably go to one of those like stubbies in the future. I wonder if that'll help out quite a bit with the wind noise on it. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, it's, again, not a lot of miles yet, but it's been pretty good. I had that battery issue at like 800, or no, it was, I think it was like 800 miles, where the battery, it just had a bad battery. Aside from that, it hasn't had any other issues. And so overall, I think the Bronco Raptors, it's really cool. It's, the thing that I always tell people when they ask me about this is, it's kind of like a Raptor and a Wrangler had a baby. Now, because if I obviously said a Bronco and a Raptor had a baby, people are like, duh, it's a Bronco Raptor. But like, for people that just go and drive an F-150 Raptor, go and drive a Jeep Wrangler, and if you kind of have familiarity with those two, it's kind of what this feels like. And the regular Bronco, frankly, feels like just a more refined Wrangler. That's a good way to look at the regular Bronco. So if the F-150 Raptor isn't quite cool enough for you, if, like, in terms of the looks, and if it's not quite, I would say, uncompromised enough for you, because some people like the louder, like the wind noise, and they like the kind of not as comfortable ride that this, you know, provide. Like, people like that with Jeeps too. So I guess if you want kind of more of that type of experience, then that's what this provides. And it provides in a package that is still, I mean, for most people, I think this is very daily drivable. I haven't been daily driving it for a little bit, but, you know, I will daily drive it here and there, like today, and it's not bad. It's not like I get out of it and I'm like, oh, thank goodness I'm out of it. It's like, you know, there's some wind noise, and that's about it. So let me know, guys, think about the Bronco Raptor, but I still stand by what I've said in the past, where I think for most people, F-150 Raptor is a better daily driver. It's kind of like a better Raptor in a lot of ways. the benefit of the Bronco Raptor is it gives you a more Wrangler type experience with a Raptor package, and it's better off-road than the F-150 Raptor with kind of general off-roading. If you do just high-speed off-roading, the F-150 is better. But if you're doing, you know, what I do, where you go into the desert, you climb some mountains, you do some high-speed off-roading, you do some middle-speed off-roading, it's just way better with all that transitioning. So let me know what you guys think.